What is up, everybody? It's over here today, and we have to talk about Sony. They have finally admitted that they have too much filler, too much shovelware on their storefront, and it is very telling because when I look at the PSN store, I see a lot of games that just not. It's just like it's just blatant shovelware on their storefront, and I guess they're just now finally addressing it. I guess they're tired of people complaining about it, and they're gonna addressing it with this new change right here. But so this article is from Push Square, and it tells you that Sony adjusts default PS Store sorting amid shovelware backlash because it's too much trash on their storefront. So the PSN store has become overrun with copy and paste games, the majority of which exist to dole out 60-second platinum trophies. Now it's kind of sad that some of these games only exist just to give out platinum trophies. People are just pretty much just playing for platinum. People are pretty much paying for platinums at this point. And it's like sad. You at least want the game to be somewhat decent. But these games are just you just playing for 60 seconds, a minute, and you get a platinum trophy, and they pretty much just charge you for a platinum trophy. So like it's kind of defeats the purpose of getting a platinum trophy because it's supposed to be something you achieve. That's supposed to be like a monumental in a way, kind of like a high score, like how people used to go for high scores back in the day at arcade games. But now they have cheapened the platinum trophy aspect of that. It's like you just pay these cheap shovelware games, which is just clogging the storefront up, and Sony is getting rid of them. So when you browse the new release section of the PS Store, has consequently become a nightmare as you inundated are not inundated with multiple permutations of the exact same game. So they have multiples of the same game. So it's like they're using a picture like here of like what is this? Jumping Noodles Turbo, the Nick and Kit Racing, the Pig Quiz. What is this trash? Pickle Run, Sushi Run, the Mega Bundle, Taco Fun. Yeah, these games look like this looks awful. This looks completely awful. And so this is how the game looked originally, but this is how the storefront looked originally, but this is how it looks now. You get Code of the Lamb, which is the most recent game that dropped that people are talking about. Stray was just released recently as well too. You got Digimon Survive, Multiverses, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. It's a pretty popular name right here. Yeah, so okay, they made more recent games that's kind of popular stick out more, which they should have done because this is good because nobody wants to see Pickle Run and the Pig Quiz when they first look at the PSN store. So that's great too. Especially you look for like when they do like the different sales, you don't want to see the Pickle Run pop up. Yeah, so good for Sony. I'm glad they finally addressed they got too much shovelware on their website because nobody wants to buy this nonsense. Like really, nobody wants to buy this or see this while they're looking at your storefront. So. This person says, it has become a real problem branding more legitimate games. While we don't necessarily agree with the heavy-handed curation, who is to decide whether a game should exist or not? We pointed out recently that Sony doesn't have a real problem on his hands finding an adequate solution to this. We suggest some smart changes to the way the PS Store services content could help. Okay. Yeah, so they got more than most recent games when you first look at it. So it's a good change. It's like you look at the storefront, you want to see this trash pop up like this. So yeah, let's see what people got to say about this in the comment section. This doesn't solve / make anything better now. Small new indie games that aren't top sellers get buried. They should either forbid those type of games or massively limit the amount devs are able to submit every week. And the last 3 days alone, 11 of those shovelwares were added to the store. Even the eShop has less trash. The eShop is terrible too with that too. When you look at the eShop, they got the same type of shovelware games on there. And at least with those games, and it's worse because at least with those games, you didn't even get trophies or anything with that Nintendo games. At least with some, you get trophies. But the eShop games, you just see a lot of trash on there that you don't get trophies for. So, let me just ignore titles. Thanks. That's what he wants. He thinks that should be a better solution. So they wasted time and just put a band-aid over it. Cool. How about they actually do something about it instead? The store is such a show with all the cheap, quiet, literally garbage games. Meanwhile, there are legit, cheap, good games being buried under it at all. There's no standard here, zero quality control. It's not a good sign right there. Let's fix the problem by making the existing visibility problem for small games that are legitimately good worse. I like a button that lets me filter out games under $2. Yeah, they should have that. Like, if it's like a game that's under a certain amount, you should just be able to filter those games out because I always say those games are not going to be great quality games. Um, yeah, they should have more filter options for the PSN store, to be honest. Um, about 80% of my wish list are games that I found on the new release section of the PS app homepage. Too many clicks now to check what the actual new games are, and more casual gamers are never going to know what change happens, so we'll just straight up never see those legit small indies. Is there a particular reason why we haven't had this influx of rubbish on the PS Store a few years ago? If Steam is having the same problem, okay. Like others have said, this isn't a fix. New release sections is for the newest release, not the best selling ones. I get it's to hide the shovelware, but there's a much better solution to the problem. Like a few people of the comments above me said, ban the shovelware developers. Yeah, they really should have a quality control issue. Like if your game isn't good, and you know your game isn't good, then they should just cut their losses at this point. Like, I don't know. I mean, we can say everybody, hey, you all get to be creative, but like a lot of these games are just trash. It's like, what's the point? It's just like a dumpster fire, a trash heap of just trash games. Like, okay, under the guise of being creative, and it's like you're just doing some cheap platinum trophy titles right there, and it's like the games are trash. So, at least they're listening still. Would have hoped that they removed Life of Black Tiger, though. Yeah, I heard that's like one of the worst PlayStation games ever released that was exclusive to PlayStation, so I don't know. Yeah, this isn't ideal for smaller titles, particularly for gamers less invested in following gaming news. And what's to say Sony isn't curating the best sellers list to those titles that have paid to be featured? Okay. Thank Christ for that. It was becoming a bit of a joke, really. Let's be honest, how much can we expect a non-marketing small indie to even succeed? Marketing and advertising is everything. It is kind of true. Like, if you got a small indie game, you need to heavily market your game and get, like, some influencers to talk about it. That kind of was really sells these games. Because I can think of that one game that's very popular right now, Among Us. That game was out for a whole 2 years before people actually, like, caught on and got the massive traction because you saw, like, influencers start playing that game. But before that, nobody cared about that game until like influencers started playing it. So they definitely need to make sure they have the marketing down packed when they make these games. Shovelware 60-second trophy games are the same as NFTs and Horse Armor DLC. As long as people keep buying this trash, they'll never go away. Yeah, it's kind of true. Well, I guess nobody here sees the true problem with the PlayStation Store, the complete lack of game release period. We are how long into the PS5 era where are the games? I don't own one yet, as I have no reason to go out of my way to obtain one. Same goes for Microsoft, they don't get off easy either, especially considering they forced the rush of the next gen. Game Pass has been ugly crap as of lately. I don't know what this guy's talking about. You can always play something on Game Pass. I don't care what anyone says. Releasing games that have been on other platforms for ages. It wasn't for these crap games. There would be no releases on some weeks. Okay. Nintendo eShop is the worst with this, but usually when I'm on the PlayStation Store, the shovelware is usually at the bottom. The reason easy trophy games exist is there's a market for them. Someone somewhere is buying them up. As for the store and its curation, don't people know what they want before shopping? Or are they virtually walking up and down the aisles looking at stuff, wondering what to buy? If it's the latter, close the store and play some games. Yeah, I'll conclude it right here. I mean, apparently they're gonna fix this issue with this new change. Like, you can already see the difference right here in this list. Like, you can see the newer games, the games people are talking about that's newer at least. Because this other one, like this right here, what was it? Let me see how it looked like before we get to it. The other list did not look great at all. So yeah, so I'm gonna conclude it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you like this video. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.